stop, I want you to stop printing now. In April this year, The Economist magazine produced a report where they took 24 countries and worked out the A4 printed page equivalent per capita. And we've extrapolated that report to a global perspective, and we've worked out that something like 319 trillion printed pages are made every day. Now, not all of that is printed on office printers, obviously. Some of that is printed as newspapers, as magazines, as reports, as catalogues, and any other form of printed media. So let's conservatively assume that 10% of that total is printed on a home printer or an office printer. So that's 31.9 trillion pages, which is still a staggering amount of pages. And let's be honest, are all of those used properly? How many of those end up in the bin and unread? So again, let's conservatively estimate 10% of that is wastage. So if 10% of that is wastage, that's 3.19 trillion pages. If we made that into an area statement, taking that as A4 pages, then something like 10 days it would take to cover the whole of Saudi Arabia in wasted paper. It would take less than 10 hours to cover the whole of the UAE and less than 5 minutes to cover Bahrain. Now, in a global size, that would take us something like less than 7 years to cover the whole of the world in wasted print. There are many ways to print and many ways to look at saving how you print. Traditionally, on things like, say, an inkjet printer, which was more difficult to print duplex, people printed one sheet on one side of a page. Many people nowadays are realizing, of course, you can print duplex and get 2 pages on one sheet of paper. But do you realize, particularly in some of the drivers that we have, you can print multiple sheets on one side of a paper in duplex. In fact, you can print a 32-page PowerPoint presentation on 2 sheets of paper. And that's just one small example of the many things you can do to save paper, to save energy, to reduce CO2 emissions, and maybe help our way to save the planet.